With orders to stay home in quarantine, it's hard not to miss family get-togethers and celebrations, or even just random gatherings with friends. And the pandemic has been even tougher for elderly who crave interaction with their loved ones now more than ever. Saili Gosula is championing us all to join the COVID Loneliness Squad to help identify loved ones who may need help. Welcome to the show, Saili. Now, tell us about this newly formed COVID Loneliness Squad.
All right, thank you for having me. So there are certain questions that we can ask. Usually if we ask our elderly, they can kind of be like teenagers. You ask, how are you doing? They say, fine. But that's not enough. We got to dig a little deeper. So there are certain questions that we can ask to see how they're doing in the isolation. We can ask if they're participating in any activities at all, whether it's virtual or in person outside these days. If they're talking to family members, if they're talking to friends, we can ask if they need to go someplace. Do they have a way to go? Can they actually get out of the house by themselves? And actually ask them, can you hear me? If I call you, can you hear me? Because a lot of times they're relying on reading lips, and it's not so easy virtually. And a big question is, do you have something to look forward to? I think that one is really telling because it can dig a little deeper than the other ones too.
Yeah, so you formed this squad specifically to be able to reach out to these seniors. Can you talk about the ways seniors are feeling isolated right now during the pandemic?
Yeah, isolation has always been a concern with the elderly. When we visit the families to talk about providing services, we always do ask about, are you getting out? What are you doing? What brings you joy? But even the people we didn't have to worry about before, the ones who were socially active, who were engaged, who had a full life, now they can't. They can't do those things. So even the people we didn't have to worry about anymore are stuck at home. They're feeling isolated. Even we have some couples where one of them has dementia, and they, to be safe, had to move to maybe an assisted living facility or some community that's safer for them. Their devoted spouse was visiting every single day, spending time with them every single day. It has been 6 months since they have been able to hold their wife's hand. And that's really tough on both of them.
So how is the Loneliness Squad making a difference?
So when we have somebody that can go in, like a caregiver can go in and check in on them once a day, that kind of takes that edge off. They have something to look forward. They have a schedule. And the caregiver can also check in with them and see how they're doing and maybe alert the family if they are feeling a little blue that day and they need a little bit more of a touch that day.
All right. Saili Gosula with the COVID Loneliness Squad. I think that's great work you're doing checking in on our elderly. Thanks for joining us.